What is up, jabronis? JJ back here with some interesting characters. Talking a little PGA ship. You know we wouldn't have left you hanging here, not talking out some PGA bets. For the PGA ship, which starts May 20th, Ocean Course, South Carolina. At least that's what I'm being told. Snyder, nice to have you back, of course, Mangone. But let's be honest, Uncle T makes his debut on Run Pure Bets. The real Newhouse. Wait, is that not pronounced right?
Kneehouse.
Knee. What a jabroni. But Uncle T, good to have you aboard. We got to get you on more of these videos.
Yeah, great to finally be on with you guys. And more importantly, though, JJ, it's good to be in the one hole tonight when we start this show. You know what I mean? Hey, on the Tuesday show that just got over, you know, they give Big Uncle T a hard time, and usually I'm in the 2-hole. Hey, Hoop always gets a lot of all the credit. Good to see me in the 1-hole. Got my boys Mangone and Snyder, and looking forward to, again, we're going to break down some matchups and some value plays and some DF. We're going to take this everywhere tonight. So happy to be on with you guys. Looking forward to it.
Awesome. And the good part about the knee houses is that the other one, whose name we won't mention right now, never lands in the 1-hole. So Uncle T, enjoy it. And we'll try to keep it a trend. So this course in particular, and Snyder could start, well, at least if we're going to talk the course a bit, maybe Uncle T might be better for you. What are some things you look at coming into this course? Player history here, certain things about player form. What are some certain things right off the cuff you're looking for in relation to maybe betting value?
Yeah, I mean, the PGA is always a different animal for me because obviously it rotates courses, right? So you don't have that course history like we do on, the weekly events that we're able to, dial in on using that as a factor in our decisions, whether it's DFS, matchups, or outright bets, at least for me. So this week, from that standpoint, it's fairly irrelevant. Last year, obviously, Morikawa won, played really well down the stretch. Actually, obviously played well all 4 rounds, but played well. I think finished with a 65. But again, you're at a different course. So to answer your first question, again, I don't really put a whole lot into that. The PGA is usually, at least traditionally, the major that is the most unknown, if you will, at least for me, because you usually see guys that, come from a little bit further down in the field and are able to somehow get through. Now, it hasn't been like that the last couple of years, but traditionally you don't really put a whole lot of stock in the big favorite. So I know Brooks has won, the Brooks and, those guys that have won, Morikawa, but the other stuff is I think wind will play a factor for sure, because that's the only defense this course has. If the wind doesn't pick up, I do think the scores are going to be fairly low. They won't be low like last week, which for me, I thought that was kind of a joke of a course. There was money to be made in DFS and outrights last week, but for me as a big golf fan, I didn't necessarily care for that setup last week, and I didn't care for the course as a fan, as a casual fan. It's just too easy. I like it when it plays a little bit tougher for these guys. They're so good. So, to answer your question again, I think we're going to get into some outrights here. Things that I'm looking for, again, I want to be able to get all 4 facets. Usually all 4 facets of someone's game has got to come through for them to win this week. Again, Morikawa was tremendous last year at the PGA. I think he beat, was it Casey down the stretch? I think Casey played really well for all 4 rounds. So I'm going to be looking for a guy that's definitely in good form. Okay, so we can't look at course history as much, right? They played back here so long ago. We'll talk about the Rory situation with when he played here. But again, that was almost 9 years ago. So for me, I'm not putting as much stock in that as I've heard people this week around the industry. It's a factor, but I'm not playing a big factor. But other things, again, I just want to be able to, these guys that are coming in good form, good iron play. And again, honestly, I'm not really leaning on the putters as much as I normally would. I'm not factoring in putting, JJ, as nearly as much as I normally am.
And you brought up a few good points. So Snyder, you can answer this one because me looking at, and again, I'm by no means a golf guy. I'll try to swing this between you guys. But what am I missing here? Why is Rory the favorite?
I mean, Rory, he's just coming off that win last week. I mean, his iron game really never left him. I mean, he was struggling, poor putting, around the green play. His off the tee game was bad. I mean, he admitted to chasing the higher swing speed and such. Hired a new swing coach, went back to the basics, and it showed last week. I mean, he was a favorite on the wind advantage, but I mean, he gained over 2 strokes off the tee, nearly 7 strokes putting. His iron was elite. I mean, it was almost like that 2019 Rory that we've seen that rattled off 7 straight top 5s. I mean, he's real close to getting back to that, right in that thing, I think. I mean, he's got 2 PGA championships. I mean, there for a while, he was the best golfer on tour, and it wasn't even close.
So with odds like this, I mean, obviously he's 11-1, JT Rahm about 14 or 15-1, Spieth's in there as well. In the top 5, top 10 guys, who's a guy you might be looking for that you consider as the most value in? Well, I'll call it the top out of the top 5 guys, Snyder.
Yeah, I'm looking at probably, I think Spieth and Thomas are right up there, but Rory still, I mean, I like the way his game's trending, and he's played here well. And I think I got him last week, luckily at 20-1 before last Wednesday, I believe. The Wednesday of his event. But yeah, I'm looking at Spieth. I mean, it's hard to argue what Spieth's been doing. I mean, he needs this for the career Grand Slam. I mean, I think he'll be right in contention, 15-1. Now that's about it. I mean, Justin Thomas, elite iron player, he's right there too.
Now, Mangone, you and I, we tend to gargle Bryson. I once again see him in the top 5. Is that does he even belong there? Is that just like a market overreaction? Because the last time I remember, this dude was a complete laydown in the last big event. So what's your take on Bryson into this tournament?
Yeah, so I believe this is is this the longest course they've ever had for the PGA Championship? That's correct. Yeah, so naturally, we're gonna like Bryson here, right? I mean, I think he's definitely, no doubt in my mind, in play. One thing I think, I guess this is an interesting question to ask with the irons. What is it like on the layer rough over there, Snyder? Because I've heard one of the golfers said it. I forget which one, but it was like a top end golfer, and he kind of said Bryson has a little bit of an advantage when the course is really hard, right? And the reason why is if it's harder to kind of get out of tough situations, if it's just a really hard to chip out of because he got that huge layer rough there, they like to call it. I mean, Bryson's got that big Hulk arms where he can get that out of there with no problem. So
yeah, I don't think we'll see that long a rough here. I mean, it's going to be around 3.5 inches, but it's not going to be anywhere near like that 5.5 inch rough that we saw at that U.S. Open, which was the outlier for Bryson. I mean, I think that was his first ever finish inside the top 20 in a major. I mean, I really think that was an outlier there.
See, I don't think it was an outlier as much because of how much he dominated. I really do think that
he dominated at even par, didn't he?
What?
Didn't he finish at even par?
Oh, I thought you were talking about the one he won. My bad. I thought you were talking about
at the U.S. Open, I think he was 1 under, minus, or even.
Now, first of all, pay the over 1.5 times. Mangone mentions the layered rough.
We can't not do a PGA Bet show and not mention it. And it came up at the perfect time. I mean, it was easy to talk it through there with Bryson. So I have gone back and forth on what courses Bryson is good at. I worry about the Masters a little bit for him, but I think some of these tougher courses fit him well. And I think this one fits him pretty well too. So I like him at the top. I do like the JT angle a little bit. And JT is someone that's good. He's better off the tee than I think people realize. And I think being off the tee here is going to be helpful. And I don't think putting is going to matter here as much from everything that I'm hearing. It's those, I'm probably going to butcher the name, the Palsalem greens, as they say. So I hear,
pay that over.
Yeah. But I hear putting is more negated here, right? That's what I've heard.
These Palsalem greens are way more, they roll more pure than your grainy or Bermuda greens and stuff that you're going to see. These greens actually are more sticky. Rory actually likes these greens because he likes how he can be more, they grip the ball a lot better, and he can be much more aggressive around the greens here on this type of surface. So that, it's going to have a little different play than, say, your typical grainy Bermuda or your bent grasses.
Jimmy, I don't know if you know this. Snyder works on a golf course, so he knows all these greens well. He can just break it all down for us if we want to.
Hey, JJ, he's not talking dirty. He's just talking golf terms, all right?
You can't tell, but under the table, I'm fucking rock solid. But so, and real quick, because we'll talk on some long shots as well, but you guys have DFS in the mind as well, and maybe a little nugget or extra nugget for folks that are watching this. Maybe just real quick, go through one player each from you guys. We'll start with you, Mangone, for your favorite DFS look, pound for pound. We'll call it price per dollar, your favorite DFS play this week.
Oh, wow, man. Price per dollar too. Man, that's tough. Because I'll say this, I like a lot of the top range guys, but the overall thought process on DFS is that like low 7K range is juicy, man. Like I absolutely love that 7K range. I'll go with this. So I like Victor Hovland a lot in the 9K range, but I do like the idea of just loading up on 7K guys. I'd say my favorite is Corey Connors at like 7.3. I absolutely love him. Longer off the tee guy. The approach game's good. You have to have a complete game. He's been playing amazing overall since the break. I like to look for current form guys. Current form is humongous for me. I think that's one of the bigger things that I like to look at. And he's been phenomenal. And if we talk about putting not mattering as much here, Corey Connors, he's not the best putter, right? So that could be helpful and play into his favor a little bit. So I'm going to lean with Corey Connors as my favorite pound for pound price play.
So Connors for you, Snyder, what do you think?
I'm going to go with my favorite price point per player would be Daniel Berger. I mean, he's just playing just great, consistent golf since the start of 2020, a year and a half ago. I mean, he's coming off a third place at Byron Nelson last week, made a strong push in his final round. I mean, he's got a win and 5 top 10 finishes in his 9 starts this year. He's back-to-back, gaining over 5 strokes approach. I mean, it's just a complete misprice here with him at 8.7K, I feel. But the absolute best play of the tournament is Colin Morikawa, and it's not even close.
Love it. So he gives two plays, Mangone. You see, he grabs his nuts and he makes some calls. Uncle T, what do you like?
Yeah, real quick on Rory, if I can, to go back just for a second. JJ, you brought up a good point when you brought up the question earlier was, why is Rory the top guy on the board this week? Again, clearly he won last week. So if you would have taken just a made cut and maybe a mediocre finish or even like a T15 or a T20 for Rory last week, he would probably, honestly, he would at least be probably $1,000 cheaper on DK, without a doubt. There's no way he's going to be 11.5 coming off. Again, he hadn't had much form, right? And so fast forward that at 11.5, I don't think there's any way I can get up to him. Is he a good play? Is there a lot of value down in the 7K range? Like Mangone said, absolutely. But I don't want to strap myself, and I'll probably skip on JT as well, and maybe even DJ, and go down and start with Rahm on my builds. But I just wanted to throw that in there as to why, you know what I mean, the pricing was like that. He would never have been like that if he wouldn't have won last week. So, but as far as my value, guys, JJ, I love the Daniel Berger call, Snyder. You and I talked offline earlier today, and you and I were lockstep on Berger. I think he's mispriced. I think him and, maybe Webb Simpson or for sure Patrick Cantlay. Is that me? That
was probably Mangone.
Oh,
it's okay. Always just realize, Uncle T, it's always Mangone.
That was my fault there. I don't know why it randomly came on. I had it paused, but I was too busy enjoying the Berger stroke fest because man, I love me some Danny Berger this week too. So Uncle T, keep going. I'll grab the lotion real quick.
But Berger could easily be in that low 9K range. Now again, when we're talking DFS stuff and plays and angles, $300-400 means a lot. It goes a long way, especially on a week like this where through the middle and bottom end, the pricing is softer, but up top, again, we got 6 guys above the 10K range. So that $300-400 is critical. So for me, again, Daniel Berger is a good play. I do think Hovland is a good price at 9,300. If you go down a little bit, Sam Burns is playing, obviously coming off a win and a T2 is playing really good. 7,500. I think if pricing would have come out a little bit later, I think he could have been in that low 8K range. I think there's some great value on Sam Burns. He will be popular, but I do like that. And if you guys go all the way down, Jason Kokrak just isn't getting any respect at all. He's all the way down there. Where's Kokrak? $7,100. And the guy's just been playing some phenomenal golf for like 4 months, and he's 7,100. He could easily be in that high 7K range, in my opinion. I don't know if Snyder and Mangone agree, but it feels like you got some really good value down there at Kokrak. So those would be my, just a couple guys there to mention.
Burns Kokrak, I like it. At least going a little out of bounds, if you will. Definitely. Obviously this is going to be more bets related, but a few DFS nuggets for you if you're playing. I assume a lot of people who are going to bet will likely dabble a bit in DFS. I'm sure they have a few $1 million pools again. But one thing I want to mention before we go into maybe some long shots we like and some matchups, miss the cut. And Snyder, you probably know this. How many people are entering this and how many are going to make? Is it 60 are going to make the cut or is it 65?
70.
Yeah, that's actually interesting this week because we're going to have a field about the size of 156, but it's going to play much more as like a 125-man field because we've got 25 or so PGA pros that are dead money. We've got old pastime winners that are dead money. A bunch of international players we've never heard of that maybe one or two of them will make the cut. I mean, it's going to play as like a 120 to 130 man field, I feel, and top 70 in ties make the cut this week when it's usually top 65, which is definitely going to make so more people make the cut, which is interesting.
Did Big T get an invite? Like, are they inviting him? Is he that big time now? Is he randomly going to just tee up at the course?
I don't think so. He's got to beat me first.
Oh,
there you go, Snyder. There you go. Now, is from a make the cut perspective, Mangone, I know we used to dabble with these occasionally. Do you see anything you like to pair together for a little brief parlay there?
I would say this, like the guy, like if you're trying to parlay some guys in there, have a good time, like Danny Berger, the guy that we talked about, was probably the one I would like to mix in there. Like he's a guy like top 20, like top 10, top 5. Like if you want to like sprinkle a guy for that, I just feel like his like floor is super high. I feel like he's such a consistent like just player. I don't have a worry about him missing the cut. I feel like he has a massive ceiling as well. So, and the number's pretty good on it. Like if I told you guys plus 150 on Danny Berger to top 20, Snyder, Uncle T, are you guys jumping on that one? Because I think that's a pretty good bet.
I think there's some good value in that for sure.
So that's a good segue. Now, tournament like this, top 20, top 30. Now, I know DK offers all the way up to top 40, but most of your books will offer top 20. Mangone, you definitely like Berger the best value to sneak inside there. Uncle T, do you have anybody you really like at a top 20 play for DraftKings?
Yeah, I definitely agree with the Berger call. Like I said, it seems like we're locked, step close together with the Berger thoughts. But Victor Hovland, for me, again, I just think everything about this course lines up. Now, again, everything as we know in golf, it could fall apart on us, and these guys suck. It happens. But for me, Victor Hovland has everything going for him on this course. He loves the greens. The course sets up for him. So for me, I would say Hovland, JJ, to be honest with you, is maybe a top 5 or a top 10 selection.
Oh, even top 10 or top 5. Okay. It's not
I want to talk about this real quick. Price shop these, right? Like we're talking about them right now, but I just pulled up 2 books. I didn't do any really work. I just did 2 books and I did what Uncle T was talking about. Victor Hovland. I just decided to look. Top 20 plus 110 on DraftKings. On FanDuel, minus 105. Price shop these. You could look at 8 different books. And we already got 15 cents just between 2 books and 2 major books, right? Some of these like, smaller books, you might be able to get some better numbers. So be sure to price shop all these. You in the Anakin app, there's so many units depending on how much you're putting on this. It can make a big difference. So be sure to do that. And also, please, guys, like and subscribe to the video. Helps us out a ton. We appreciate that as well.
Yeah, of course. Go ahead and slam that like button. Like unless you have, carpal tunnel.
Yeah, and JJ, if you slam the subscribe button on the channel, you would have known that JJ hit his bet today on the Reds and Giants. I wrote that thing out. We got it home, so I know you won't brag about it, but I'll brag that you got me some cheese in my wallet.
That was a little sweat-worthy. A nice little sweat-worthy bet.
Winners win, though.
I watched it. You had 2 on in the top 5. I saw it going down, but we got it home, man.
Second and third, no outs in the top of the 5th. But yeah, we got there. So Snyder, who do you like for a top 20 play?
Top 20s, I'm really looking at. I like Matt Wallace there at plus 225. I think he's at. Yeah, I think there's a lot of good conviction in that. I mean, he's just recent form has just been out of this world with him. I mean, he's what he finished 6th at the Wells Fargo, 3rd at the Valero Texas Open. He's just playing well across the board, gaining strokes. The iron play has just been elite. He's a Euro guy that I think he should really mesh well with this like American type links course where the winds can come up. I mean, he fits the mold with that for sure. That's probably my favorite top 25.
Snyder's got me excited.
Top 20
guy every week, Snyder. You got me just this guy's like literally the man. I want to pull up his last 24 rounds because like his tee to green is phenomenal. I'm pretty sure if you look, he's probably got to be up towards the top, I would assume, because how good he's been. He has been in the past 24 rounds. He is barely in he's like 9th or 10th, I think. I can't count, but he's been so good last 24 rounds. So I love that
approach
ball.
Plays right there. He's par 4, 450 to 500. He's ranked 3rd in. You're going to see eight of those holes here, that's a pretty good deal.
Now, we'll do outrights and we'll finish with matchups and then maybe like a best bet, if you will. But outrights, I'll split this into two. So who do you guys like that's more than 50 to 1? Maybe your favorite, we'll call it a long shot, more than 50 to 1 to win this tournament. Uncle T, I'll start with you. I know you mentioned a few guys in DFS you like, which were semi-long shots. So maybe you might just go there. But who greater than 50 to 1 you think is your best look as a long shot to dabble with here?
Yeah, I mean, again, we all look at different sports, but I think on DK this morning, at least when I pulled this down, I think Will Zalatoris was 50 to 1. Is that what you guys see on Zalatoris?
I mean, 55.
Yeah, so if you're looking at guys, JJ, right there at the top threshold of 50 to 1 and back, I realize he hasn't. He's a young guy, but I don't think, judging off of how he played at the Masters, you know what I mean, where nothing seemed to faze the kid. Played well down the stretch, just didn't get it done at the end. I think there could be some good value in a 55 to 1 Will Zalatoris to me. So he would be the guy I would look to first if I wanted to throw another one in. I do think Jason Kokrak has the game to set up to possibly win. I'm showing Kokrak at 125. To 1. So I do like Kokrak. I haven't heard much buzz from him this week, and honestly, I kind of like that. So I'll give you 2 there. I like Zalatoris, and I like Kokrak.
Awesome. Love it. Snyder, who's your favorite long shot?
When we're looking at 50 to 1, I got to go with my guy here, Big Dick Brooks Koepka. I mean, he's when we're looking at majors here since 2015, BDB is 98 under par, and the next closest guy is 31 shots higher. I mean, he had a good interview today with Jason Sobel. He was talking about his knee. I mean, people are a little hesitant with his knee. He's like, my knee was injured back at the Masters. He's like, now it's just hurt. He's like, I can play through this. It's nothing for me. It's like, I got to get back to the point where I was. I got to show these people I can be the guy I was when I won this tournament in 2018 and 2019. And I mean, we're never going to see this guy at 50 to 1 again. I mean, even if it's 10 or 20 bucks, I mean, you got to take the value. I mean, it's awesome value, I think, here. But Big T didn't hit on one of my other guys that I really like. I think he's getting disrespected here, Jason Kokrak.
I mentioned him, you donkey. I just said Kokrak.
I told you I liked him too. I mean,
get on him, JJ.
I mean, part of me wants to be like Snyder's biting off Uncle T, but he gave you a little credit in the beginning. He said, I know Uncle T's guy was Kokrak.
I know. I was just on the golf show with Hoop. We both like Kokrak. I mean, he's just playing great golf recently. He's made his last 9 cuts. He's finished inside the top 13 in 4 of his last 5 events. And I think these odds are a little disrespectful and hurtful to him.
Now, Mangone, who do you like as a long shot to with some value in this tournament?
Yeah, so I would say I love Corey Connors, so I'll go back to him for sure. But a more off the board guy that hasn't really, I don't think, been talked about too much, and he's kind of like a Ricky Bobby kind of guy. He's a bit first or last. Mark Leishman, right? Guy that can get pretty long. You're playing these outright bets like. Some people are always like, oh, I'm going to take Finau. I'm going to take Fleetwood. And it's like, dude, take them top 5, right? Like, take them top. They're not winning, right? Until they show me that. Leishman, yes, he's a guy that will finish maybe in like 110th, but he also has a good chance at finishing up towards the top. We know how he can play. He can play long enough. I think that Mark Leishman is an interesting play. And when he starts playing well, those irons can get a little hot. And that's the kind of guy that I like to roll with. So he's longer than I think he would be if he was just, coming in here off of like a win or something, or off of a win recently. So I like Mark Leishman a bit, and I haven't heard him mentioned. That's more of, again, for outright specifically. That's where I would go.
Love it. Love it. And Joey Work seems to like Sanjay M. Take that for, I remember when I was following him earlier last year, he seemed to get streaky. I don't know how he's playing now though. How has he been looking?
Sanjay was playing pretty well in the Florida swing, but I know we're kind of past that right now, so I'm not sure. What do you guys think? Snyder, you got anything on Sanjay?
He's been fine. He's got – go ahead, Snyder.
No, you can go. I mean, I think I'm off him on DFS-wise, but, I mean, he makes sense where he is, but I just don't think I can get there. I mean, he's been hit or miss, it seems like, on one part of his game's been off. I mean, I'm just not going to click his name.
Did you guys not like my Leishman idea? Like, I got like the silence. I didn't know if that was the the word for that wasn't a great play.
That's because they were afraid they were going to hear the echo on your audio.
I respect you too much, Mangone.
Leishman's a good long iron player. He plays these long par threes well. His proximity to 200 and plus is really solid. He's good putting. I mean, his off the tee game's a little worrisome, but I think it's a solid play there.
Mangone, Mangone, real quick on Leishman, I will say this is if the wind does pick up on the weekend, I think it's pretty lame Thursday and Friday, but if he makes the cut and gets to the weekend, I do like him more in the wind. You know what I mean? So I do like that angle if, again, wind angles, but he's a good wind player.
I agree 100%. Like sometimes something you could do too in DFS, again, I know it's more a betting show, but like you could like try and like make a group of guys that play well in the wind and put them together, like Leishman, Lowry, another one. That's another long shot that if you know it's going to be windier, like Lowry's a guy I like a ton. So I'm definitely looking at some weather too and see if there's an angle on that. That could change some of my DFS stuff and some of my betting stuff. I might see that there's a big wind angle and might take a shot on someone that's a better wind player, go up and get someone that's not as good in like a matchup or something like that. I think there's tons of ways you can go with that.
Yeah, if we argue, you guys, anybody watching could throw a few decimals of a unit on those long shots. Now, let's talk on who you guys like as your favorite to win the tournament. Now, I know that, you can get as chalky as you want, of course. If you get really chalky, I'm just going to bust your balls. But who do you like? And Mangone, I'll start with you. We'll just keep rapping back and forth. Who do you like as your favorite better value-wise at their current number inside of 50 to 1 odds to win this tournament?
Yeah, I've gone back and forth, but I think I'm leaning. I like my issue I have is I feel like some of these guys at the top are a little bit better of value. Like I want to say Victor Hovland really bad. I think Vic has a good chance of winning this thing at 22-1. My problem is it's like I can just get JT at 16-1 instead. So part of me feels like a donkey there on that, but I don't know. I like Vic a lot here in this spot. I think this course could fit him really, really well. And he's had some wins on tour, right? But he hasn't had like the signature win yet. So I'm kind of waiting for that one to come through. I don't think he's this choker or anything. He has like, seen it through the cylinder. He is a guy that has the win. So I'm going to go with Vic Hovland. I know it might not feel like, I got like the Brooks 50 to 1 value, but I do feel like he's just a strong contender here and has a real chance to make some noise this weekend.
Now you got 22 to 1 where? FanDuel?
Yeah, that's FanDuel. I'm sure you can find better at other books too. I'm sure you can shop it around.
Okay, cool. Snyder, who's your favorite? Don't say Brooks Koepka. You already used him.
No, I'm going to go with the best player in the field, I believe. It's the reigning and defending PGA champion. He's going to go back-to-back here. Just the absolute stones here with the irons. Best ball striker in the game. Ranks first in these par fours, 450 to 500. We'll see 8 of those here, like I said. I mean, his iron play has just been unreal. He's gaining 7.3 strokes on average approach over his last 5 events, which is just crazy. The poor putting, I think, will be mitigated here with these past palm greens, which are slower and roll way more truer than your normal greens. So I really like him here at 3 to 1 odds.
Is that, just so I'm clear, is that Morikawa or Berger?
Morikawa, 30 to 1.
So Morikawa, like it. All right, Uncle T, who's your favorite outright?
Need a hand check, Snyder. He gets JJ. You haven't been on a ton of. I know you've been on a little bit with him. When he starts to get on his tangent about Morikawa, every once in a while you got to ask him for a hand check because it gets really deep. So, all right, just making sure. Yeah, for me, I'm going to go with Daniel Berger. I pulled these numbers a little bit earlier. They may have changed, but I got 28-1 from DK Sportsbook on Daniel Berger. And again, I know I'm probably different than most, but I'm more of a Vegas guy when I look at my DFS rosters and match things up. But relative to where he's priced in DFS, I know one doesn't equal the other, but in your mindset, he's 28-1 around guys that are like 50-1. So for me, when I can see 28-1 on a guy that has that much talent and that much ability, I'm going to take Daniel Berger. He's a guy for the value. Your question was the value guy, right? What, for the price. I think Jordan Spieth's going to win the golf tournament. But at 14, 13, 14, 15-1, I probably will have a bet on Spieth, but my pick for the show here for sure is going to be Daniel Berger. I think it was 28-1.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, so we got that covered and gave it even a few more nuggets there. And it looks like there might be some issue with the live video. I'll try to look at that when you guys start talking again. But as far as what we didn't talk about yet is matchups in particular. Mangone, you and I used to go through these a lot when we were doing these videos a while back. Is there, and I'm not talking like 3-ball, like day 1, day 2 stuff. Is there a matchup in particular that really sticks out or has stuck out to you where you see some value?
Yeah, I think it's good to look at different guys and go through different books, right? Be like, hey, this is a golfer that we talked about and liked and kind of shot through. I had it up, and for some reason on DK, it's really annoying and hard to find. But I had a Berger one that I liked. Oh yeah, it was against Webb Simpson. I thought was really interesting because if you talk about this course needing to play a little bit longer, and of course Webb Simpson is known as a guy who can putt really well, and if putting is going to be more negated. And it's you think about Webb Simpson, right? And he's this golfer that feels like Berger shouldn't be in that class. And I feel like the books are kind of baiting people to want to take Webb. When I think Berger is the better call there. So that's one that I found in the DK book when I was kind of shopping around that stuck out to me. I know Victor Hovland is kind of priced with some better golfers. So I'm having trouble jumping on him. I've looked at some of these other guys. I know Sam Burns had a crazy one on DK where he was priced up against some really tough guys. So it's a little bit tougher there for me to get on someone like a Sam Burns. But I think a Brian Harmon is another guy I would maybe look to see if you can find an easier matchup. But I like the Berger over Webb Simpson one. I saw Snyder nodding his head, so maybe I'm on the right path there with that one. I know he has a paid article here, and he's hit on, what is it, Snyder? Is it 8 of the last 16? What's the number you're at right now, Snyder?
Yeah, we've hit 8 outright winners since start of 21. And I think we've hit two or 3 first-round leaders.
So, yeah.
Something like that.
That's all right. You're telling me with Snyder there, and Uncle T likes Berger too. So it seems like I'm in good shape there. I don't love Webb, and I haven't heard much good talk about him, Uncle T. So do you like that matchup?
So I'm not sure. There appears to be a video issue of sorts with this live video, but hopefully people can at least hear it. Hopefully people can at least hear it. But either way, once this video's end, I'm sure it'll be able to play without issue. Could be an issue with our audio, our video setup here. But Snyder, favorite matchup you like between a few different books that maybe you've been looking at? I know you have a few in your write-up, but maybe your favorite one you like?
Yeah, I like this Abe Answer versus Tyrrell Hatton one. I think Abe Answer is one of my favorite plays across the board, even DraftKings-wise. He's just been playing just great golf. He finished second at the Wells Fargo, 5th at the Valspar. He's got 5 other top 26s before that. The putter's really been holding him back to start the year, but the last 2 events, he's actually gained strokes putting, which is promising to see, and I really like that. He's great off the tee. He's going to hit a lot of fairways. He's going to hit his irons well. I think he really sets up well for this. And you're looking at Tyrrell Hatton, who's kind of been up and down recently, and his round the green game has just been not good. And he struggles on these long par 3s as well. So I think Answer's got a really good edge over him here.
Awesome. And just to be clear for folks, if you're having issues hearing it, which does seem like a bunch of you are, don't worry. At worst, I'll download this and repost it without issue because over this platform, it'll record without issue. And then Uncle T, who's your favorite matchup?
Yeah, before I get to mine, Mangone, I found the one you're looking for. Sam Burns, I think, is in a matchup with Patrick Cantlay, I think, on DK. Was that the one you're looking for?
No, I think it was even
No.
better. But there's the one thing I do look at, and I think it's a good point, is like I like to look at golfers that sometimes are priced with like some like a Sam Burns in like a range that you wouldn't expect, right? And then maybe shop it around because the books are basically saying they're trying to bait you into taking the other guy, right? And so then I like to shop around in another book and see if there's maybe a good one that you can find. But I will say I like a lot of those like lower 7K guys that we've talked about, like Burns, Harmon, Connors, Wallace. A lot of the guys that we've kind of touched on, I personally think that you could shop around at different books and kind of get a piece of.
Awesome. And Uncle T, did I miss who you gave out?
No, I didn't get there yet. I thought I found Mangone's Burns thing, but evidently that wasn't the right one. So no, for me, this might be one that you guys might not agree with, but because I like the guy as a golfer and may even have some plays with him in DFS. But as far as matchups in this conversation, I kind of like Will Zalatoris over Corey Connors. I've got it minus 110, I think. Again, these were earlier today. These could have moved, but minus 110 either way with Zalatoris over Connors. And I just think, again, two good golfers. I just think Zalatoris gives you some good value there over Connors, who, again, has been on quite a roll. He's due for some negative, play, if you will, or regression. So I'm going to go with Zalatoris as my matchup play over Corey Connors.
JJ, I'm a fan of Uncle T. He's my guy, but is this his way of trying to get lunch back with me? Is that what he's trying to do here? I talk up Connors, and then it just kind of comes at Connors. Is he just nonchalantly doing that, JJ?
I gotta come in here and defend Uncle T here. I mean, I like what he's saying here. I mean, Connors.
There you go, Snyder. Come on in.
Connors has lost strokes around the green in 5 of his last 6 events, and he's lost strokes putting in his last 2. He's reverting back to that donkey of a putter he was, I think.
There you go.
Yeah, so
I'm actually off Connors this week.
Mangone, I don't really think you have permission to talk shit here. Apparently you lost a $10 lunch money bet, and you've been blowing up Uncle T's DMs about.
I didn't lose. I won it. I mean, I didn't lose.
Oh, so Uncle T, who's the one that's been busting your balls about lunch payment?
Actually, none of them. I just like to give people shit. Actually, none of them. Mangone knows me well enough now. I just love giving people shit. But no, I lost 8. Uncle T had a good DFS week last week, but his head-to-heads, I lost one with Mangone. I lost one with Hoot. Now, I did want to talk about the one I won with AP a couple weeks ago, and it's been crickets since then. I haven't heard a word. So, and then I lost one with Big T. So I was 0-3. Full disclosure, transparency on the show here. 0-3 last week in my heads up. So, Mangone, if you want to slide in Zalatoris versus your boy Corey Connors that you're choking off, hey, I'm in.
We're taking notes again. We have the Wednesday show where you come.
Yeah.
So we're taking notes. I might be able to get a better one. Things I don't want like betting against my guy Zal, but I was wondering if that was your way of trying to slide it in there because I love Zalatoris. I'm a fan of him for sure. I'm not as high on as him on this week, but we'll have to see if there's a guy that maybe you're high on that I'm not, and then we can kind of go to war somewhere. I have to wait to watch the Wednesday show with you, Big T, and JSU.
That one could run long tomorrow, boys. Usually when we get JSU and Big T drinking, JJ knows this from the Print Factory shows back during football. Those could get, you got to set aside about a 3-hour block in your evening, right, JJ?
It's like a Joel Osteen sermon, Uncle T.
Yeah, but after a Joel Osteen sermon, JJ, you're coming out revived and with winners, and that's what's going to happen here on that show. We're going to come with winners.
Speaking of winners, imagine going up against Uncle T, Mangone, when it's bounce back season. I mean, what are you doing?
You're right. I mean, listen, he's got that Kentucky blue in the background, and they got bounce back season after their year. I better watch out there. I mean,
wait till you see that. Hey, I don't want to. Sorry, JJ. Tomorrow's show, because I know you guys are going to be watching. Not because of Big T and JSU, but because I'm going to be the guy that's going to be the star of the show. But anyway, where do you guys see the shirt Uncle T has on tomorrow night for the show? I don't want to give it away.
Pump for it.
Little teaser.
Pump for it. And again, guys, like the video, subscribe to the channel as well. And the videos Uncle T's talking about is on Run Pure Sports. I would assume most of you already subscribed there, but if you're not, their channel is Run Pure Sports. Yes, definitely subscribe over there, and you'll be able to catch more of the DFS stuff, specifically golf, tomorrow night. And I guess we could leave off here, guys, with maybe some best bets and last notes. So we'd gone through a bunch of different bets and a bunch of different items we like, and they've all been typed up in the chat. And I'll make this video. I'll do the minutes increment so it's easier for people to view afterwards. But best bets, and we'll start with you, Uncle T. What are maybe a bet that not so much you're going to mortgage the house for, but what's your favorite look in this tournament? Could be anything. Could be an outright. Could be a matchup. Could be one you've already given out in the show. What's your favorite look or looks for betting-wise for the PGA Ship?
Yeah, there's a couple of them, and you guys mentioned some good thoughts tonight that is going to have me my eyes turning here when I do my analysis the next 24 to 48 hours. But for me, JJ, I'm going to go again. I don't want to hammer on the Mangone thing, but I'm going to take Will Zalatoris over Corey Connors. I just feel like at minus 110, you're not really, it feels like it's a short number is what I'm getting at. It feels like, price wise and how they're both coming in playing, I just feel like Zalatoris is a really nice play there. Minus 110 on DK Sportsbook over Connor. So I'll go with that one. Like it.
That was on. You got that on DK, Uncle T, or was that FanDuel?
Yeah, and again, that was earlier today. I've been crunching the baseball with the playbook and everything tonight, so I really haven't hopped back on since earlier this afternoon. I'm not sure what it is now. So
okay, no, cool. Snyder, best bet overall for the tournament. What do you like?
I think that Daniel Berger one at plus 150 to top 20. I think there's a lot of value in that one, and that's where I'm leaning. I think there's the most value in that. I mean, you think there's got to be a really good high percentage that he's finishing in the top 20. He loves these big events, coming in with just elite form, and I really like that price.
Awesome. I'm on YouTube as well. I can see that there is an error that's occurring on it, so hopefully I can get that fixed afterwards. But Mango, who's your best bet?
I mean, hopefully you don't get it fixed so I can come hang out with Uncle T and Snyder again. I mean, that'd be a good time.
Yeah.
But Snyder just kind of took my bet, so I'm kind of sitting here with just nothing to do. I'm trying to think of what the best bet could be from here because I really like that top 21. I do like betting. I like betting those a bit. The top 20s are definitely ones I like. I'm trying to pull it up now to see if we can get some other ones in here that pop off the page.
I guess I could have done that Morikawa plus 150 to top 22. I think that's a lot of value in that.
I like the Hovland. I like Hovland as well here, so I'll go with Hovland plus 110 on DK at to top 20. So I'm fine with that. And again, those are two golfers, Berger and Hovland. I'm definitely high on this week, so I'm cool with that. I'll go with Hovland as a plus 110. Again, I like those two golfers. I like some of those 7K golfers, and I'll definitely be going up to that top range to figure out who to go there. It's going to be a fun week. I really like this course, and I'm like Uncle T. I like when the course plays hard. I don't like these courses where everyone's just shooting like 20 under. That's not fun to me to watch. So I'm excited. I'm definitely looking forward to this event.
Well, I did listen to an interview earlier today with a caddy that's on the course, and he's thinking that the winning score is going to be right around that minus 9 to minus 12 range. He's like, these winds are going to affect these golfers more than people think. And the locals are like 10 to 15 mile an hour winds. Here is just completely night and day different than your normal 10 to 15 mile per hour winds as they come off the coast, and you don't know which direction these winds are coming. They describe these winds as intense and unpredictable, which is something to look at.
Snyder, does it help that I got an Oklahoma State guy, right? Because he played in those winds a little bit out there. I don't know if that helps enough, but I will say, keep in mind, those Euros, like, don't sleep on them in these kind of events. Like, if the wind picks up, like, I'm definitely going to look to key in on them more and more as we get closer.
And it looks like the wind might be up slight advantage Friday PM. We could have a decent advantage like Thursday PM, Friday morning, possibly. I mean, I have to keep looking at it as the week goes on, but something to keep interested in.
Love it. And as always, folks, be sure to subscribe to all the videos here and head over to Run Pure Sports and subscribe over there. If you are not, there'll be more golf content and, of course, other sports content as well. Joey Work will be back on here doing baseball tonight as well with a picker live video. And again, apologize for the audio video issues, but I'll make sure it gets corrected for you guys to watch afterwards. Thanks again to Uncle T, Snyder, Mangone for helping out, giving some good quality PGA content for the ship. And again, stay tuned for the video tomorrow to get more insight, especially on the DFS end. Again, guys, thanks again for watching. Be sure to gamble responsibly, stay safe, and as always, run pure.